Coming up on Citrus TV News Live at 6, students are giving their input about the potential for a new promenade on University Place.
And former House Speaker Dennis Hastert faced a judge today who called him a serial child molester just before sending him to prison.
And a Paris terror suspect appeared in a French courtroom this morning.
Citrus TV News starts right now.
From the Citrus TV studios, this is Citrus TV News Live at 6, your campus news leader.
Well, good evening, and thank you for joining us one last time. I'm Max Darrow.
And I'm Hunter Saenz. The SU Framework Project is bringing new changes to SU. That's our top story tonight. University Place may be transformed into a promenade as part of the SU Campus Framework Project. Students are being encouraged to test out seating options for the walkway until Friday in the Shine Student Center and vote through an online survey. Opinions on Archbold Gymnasium renovations can also be voiced through the online survey. The Campus Framework Plan is a part of the university's academic strategic plan that is focusing on transforming the physical form of SU to support the school's mission.
Being the main focal point on campus, I don't think cars should be going through there. That being said, I think just being a roadway, it's left kind of bland, and it doesn't really bring out like the main highlights of the campus.
Senior fashion design students will show off their collections in the annual fashion show tomorrow. The VPA School of Design students will present at 12:30 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. in Goldstein Auditorium. Tickets can be purchased at the Shine box office today and tomorrow.
The annual 10 Tons of Love charity drive is looking for donations and volunteers. The drive began today and will continue through May 12th. Donations of clothing, non-perishable food items, bedding, and more will be accepted. The donations will go to nearly 3,000 Syracuse City families. Donation boxes can be found all over campus, including in the residence halls.
If you had a chance to walk on the quad today, you may have seen orange and blue Solo cups all over. Well, the reason? To raise awareness for a very important cause.
So we're standing on the quad in the middle of a visual for the It's On Us campaign to kind of show the intersection of alcohol and consent. And so obviously we're representing that with Solo cups, but it has like kind of a more deeper symbolic meaning. So the teal Solo cups represent sexual survivors on this campus, and of the 15,000 plus undergraduate students, 2,749 of them will be subject to sexual violence on this campus, with these statistics 1 in 4 women and 1 in 16 men. And so that's powerful in itself to show the teal cups of a survivor community.
Cicero police responded Monday morning to a drug overdose, but found a meth lab inside a home instead. Officials found an unresponsive woman when they entered the home and discovered the lab in the basement as well. While investigating the overdose, police say a man was found across the street swinging a 2-foot-long sword. That man was charged with reckless endangerment. Investigators have confirmed that the man was also connected to the lab.
The Eat to Live Co-op has once again been reopened on Syracuse's south side after being forced to close 3 years ago. Issues with funding and enough foot traffic to the store caused it to close its doors back in 2013. The organization has restructured this time around and hopes to provide healthier food options to meet the needs of the community. And, well, coming up, former House Speaker Dennis Hastert sentenced to prison, but how long will he spend behind bars?
And a Paris terror attack suspect appeared in a French courtroom today after being extradited from Belgium. But first, weather. Nick?
We'll take a look at what's happening down in Texas, some of the weather they've been experiencing, as well as whether or not it will affect us here in central New York. I'll have a look at your full 5-day forecast in just a moment.
If you want to be a parent, it doesn't matter how you play, what you wear, how you dance, or even what direction life takes you. You just need to be there. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care don't need perfection. They just need you.
So who's going to do what?
I'll pack the dead batteries.
Great.
I'll only put what I don't need into a duffel bag.
Perfect. That's totally unhelpful.
No problem.
Meanwhile, I will try to comfort everyone by speaking in a calm voice. And who is going to handle supplies?
I can forget to do a list for us.
Thanks, pal.
We couldn't be any less prepared. I'm proud of you guys.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Search Ready Kids at nyc.gov or call 311.
How can I help my daughter with her reading?
Searching for help with Dachshund Reading.
No.
Let me try. Sarah's bright, but when she's reading, she has trouble sounding out words.
Playing world music.
What?
I give up.
Wait, I was trying to show you how Sarah feels every day. Frustrating, isn't it? Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Former House Speaker Dennis Hastert will be spending his next 15 months in prison for taking out money to cover up a sex abuse scandal that he was implicated in. Hastert is accused of molesting 4 teenage boys when he was a wrestling coach at Yorkville High School in the 1970s. He allegedly was using the money as hush money to pay off one of his victims. The judge called Hastert a, quote, serial child molester and said he wondered if Hastert was truly sorry for what he did.
Tonight, investigators are still looking through leads, trying to find out who shot and killed 8 family members in Ohio last week. The medical examiner says autopsy results show signs of struggle from the victims of the massacre. Authorities are describing the shootings as execution style and pre-planned. Investigators also found more than 100 marijuana plants in total across multiple family members' homes, leading police to believe the deaths could be drug-related.
And at least 80,000 chickens are dead after a coop in Connecticut caught on fire. More than 150 firefighters had to respond to the egg farm fire in Lebanon that belongs to a major egg producer. Eyewitnesses say they could see the smoke from miles away. No farm workers or firefighters were hurt, and the cause of the fire is still not clear. This is the second farm fire for Kokoff egg farms. In 1989, a fire killed more than 200,000 chickens.
Washington Redskins officials are hoping the Supreme Court will weigh in on the controversy surrounding the team's name. The NFL franchise is looking to challenge a July 2015 U.S. District Court order to cancel the team's trademark because the agency determined it offensive. The franchise is looking to get the High Court's attention by pairing up with another case involving an Asian American rock band called the Slants, who have a similar trademark issue.
A former fugitive and Paris attack suspect will be returning to Paris to face trial. After 4 months on the run, Salah Abdeslam was discovered and arrested in Brussels after a high-profile raid last month. Belgium extradited Abdeslam to Paris, and he's expected to be held in solitary confinement in one of Europe's largest jails. He's been charged with involvement in the Paris attacks that killed more than 130 last November.
Public sector workers in Venezuela will only have to show up for work 2 days a week. You heard that right. It's all in an effort to overcome a major energy crisis. The vice president announced workers should only show up on Mondays and Tuesdays because of the major drought causing reduced water levels at its main hydroelectric dam. This measure will affect 2 million workers in the country.
And just a day after the U.S. warned American citizens in Turkey about terrorist threats in tourist areas, a female suicide bomber wounded 13 people in the city of Bursa. Though fortunately many of the wounded have been discharged from the hospital already, this was the 5th suicide attack in a major Turkish city just this year.
4 journalists in Iran have been sentenced to between 5 and 10 years in prison, and tonight Iranian President Rouhani is criticizing the rulings. The journalists are charged with acting against national security interests and spreading propaganda against the Islamic Republic, but Rouhani continues to call for greater media freedom, showing a stark divide between reformists and conservatives in Iran.
A Lebanese rock band is being banned from playing at a venue in Jordan for what the band says has to do with their support for religious and sexual freedom. Mashru Leila has garnered a large following in the Middle East in the past few years, and the band's lead singer is openly gay. The amphitheater in Jordan's capital said the band's music was at odds with the, quote, authenticity of the site.
Well, Max, it was a beautiful day outside. The sun was out, a slight windy breeze, but hopefully it's here to stay.
I hope so. I went for a walk, and hopefully it'll come this weekend for a Mayfest weekend. So Nick Ross, he's going to give you the answer.
Thanks, guys. Before we take a look at what things are doing in central New York, storms swept through Texas overnight on Tuesday. According to local officials, the storm brought at least 1 tornado and injured 4 people. Strong thunderstorms will continue into tomorrow and may continue as late as Saturday. Now, this weather won't have much of an effect on us here in CNY, though. Let's take a look outside at what's going on across the country. This storm system you can see has just moved off these darker green areas right here that aren't moving. Those are the flood advisories that are still in effect. As I mentioned, things are going to continue a bit for where they're experiencing weather. As we take a look at the next 24 hours, though, here in central New York, things look relatively dry. This system will move in a little bit, but should actually skirt us, and things should not come in until the weekend. We'll take a look at that in the full 5-day forecast. As we take a look at temperatures, we mentioned it was sunny, a little bit breezy, cooler temperatures, but we're actually not that far below what averages would be. We're just slightly below what the average would be for today, 62, and 57 your average high for April. So we're right around those temperatures that you'd be usually seeing at this time of year. As we take a look outside at the current conditions, 53 degrees outside right now, partly cloudy. Those winds have stayed relatively calm, but here and there you may get some gusts that'll make things feel a little bit cooler than 53 degrees. 31 degrees overnight, so things will drop down below freezing. If you're heading out tonight, definitely want to take a jacket, though mostly clear. Those winds stay about where they were today. As we take a look at the full 5-day forecast, 58 degrees on Thursday, 58 degrees on Friday as well. Saturday, 62 degrees. Things warm up just a bit, but rain moves back in. Saturday into Sunday, 57 degrees with a 70% chance of rain on Sunday. That rain will continue into Monday as temperatures cool back down a little bit as a result of that rain.
So Nick, the million-dollar question, Friday, how's the weather going to be for Mayfest?
Things should be dry, and that's what we like to see. Nothing like last year where we actually had snow on Mayfest. Temperatures will be in the mid to upper 50s, so it should be a nice day.
All right, the news we wanted to know.
Absolutely.
Nick Ross, thanks as always. Coming up after the break, Kelly Ripa returns to Live after a week-long hiatus.
And Talking Points anchor Alex Amico will be here to give us a full recap of last night's primary elections. Stay with us.
Huntington! Every proper bear knows that the right fit means everything. Especially when it comes to car seats.
Oh, really? I just did what any bear would do.
So know for sure that your child is in the right car seat for their age and size.
I like it.
To learn more, visit safercar.gov/the right seat.
Oh, hello there.
Oh, where's that bear?
I'm a teacher. Let me tell you what I make. I make learning a privilege, not a chore, and frustration a tool, not an obstacle. I make working hard seem easy and giving up impossible. I make an old subject feel like a fresh thought and unconventional methods common. I'm a teacher. I make more. What do you think it would be like to teach? Chances are, you have no idea. Teachers today are breaking down obstacles, finding innovative ways to instill old lessons, proving that greatness can be found in everyday places, and that you don't need to be famous to be unforgettable. That's what it's like to teach.
Well, Northeasterners hit the polls yesterday with Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump winning big in Maryland, Delaware, Pennsylvania, and Connecticut.
We have Talking Points anchor Alex Amico here to break down delegates and numbers and fill us in on the latest news with Ted Cruz. Alex?
Well, thanks, Max. Ted Cruz made a big announcement about 2 hours ago. He announced that he's naming Carly Fiorina, a former rival, as his running mate. This is a big move by Ted Cruz, but it makes sense. Fiorina is a woman. It helps him not only against Donald Trump, who doesn't do great with women, but also against Hillary Clinton. He can sort of use her to criticize Hillary Clinton without worrying about being called sexist. Which brings me to the next thing. Carly Fiorina is sort of an attack dog. She's gone after Donald Trump in the primary when she was still a candidate. So she's a candidate that makes a lot of sense for Ted Cruz. But more importantly, when we look at last night's primaries, Ted Cruz desperately needs to change the media narrative. Donald Trump has won the last 6 primaries and won most of the delegates in all of them. So naming Carly Fiorina, he gets a lot of free media, gets a lot of time to talk about it. But if we look at how the delegates look, Donald Trump now is at 954 delegates. Ted Cruz is mathematically eliminated from getting 1237 before the convention. That's what he's banking on right now, is a contested convention. Donald Trump needs about 50% of the delegates remaining to win outright. It's still a tall order, but it's looking more and more likely like he can do it. If we look at the Democrats now, Hillary Clinton had a big night last night, winning the 4 biggest states. Bernie Sanders only taking the state of Rhode Island. Hillary Clinton more or less is putting this one away. Bernie Sanders needs to win 82% of the remaining delegates in order to catch her. So it's been an incredible campaign for Bernie Sanders, but the fat lady is starting to warm up. And if we look ahead to states that are coming up, the big state to take a look at is Indiana. Indiana is voting May 3rd. 57 delegates, winner take all. John Kasich has essentially ceded the state to Ted Cruz. For momentum purposes, Ted Cruz needs to stop Trump there. But also, California is going to be big, and that's partially why he probably picked Fiorina. California has 162 delegates, but 159 of them are awarded by congressional district. So having a Californian on the ticket could help him peel off some of those delegates and force Donald Trump to a contested convention. Max and Hunter, back to you.
Pilgrim's Pride recalled over 4.5 million pounds of fully cooked chicken products. Consumers and federal meat inspectors found that the newest contaminated chicken has foreign material in it, and this foreign material includes wood, plastic, rubber, and metal. The chicken company originally recalled over 40,000 pounds of their chicken nugget products back on April 7th.
CVS Pharmacy is recalling its organic spiced herbal tea after manufacturers found salmonella in an ingredient packed in a separate item. About 200 units of the product labeled Gold Emblem Abound Organic Spiced Herbal Tea are now being taken off the shelves.
Presidential GOP hopeful Donald Trump turned heads at the Time 100 Gala Tuesday night when he arrived late and left early. Trump seemed to be practicing his primary victory speeches when talking to reporters at Manhattan's Jazz at Lincoln Center. Rappy Nicki Minaj jokingly, or maybe not, dedicated her song Anaconda to Trump along with Vice President Joe Biden during her speech. Other stars attended the gala, including Martha Stewart, Charlie Rose, Gayle King, and Alexander Wang.
Kelly Ripa returned to Live with Kelly and Michael Tuesday morning after taking almost a week-long hiatus. Ripa joked about her time off and congratulated her co-host Michael Strahan on his new job. She took a leave of absence after it was announced that Strahan will be leaving the show May 13th to become a permanent anchor on Good Morning America. Here's Carly.
Coming up in sports, Syracuse women's and men's lacrosse look to repeat as ACC champs this weekend, and it's never too early to look forward to SU basketball next season. All that and more, sports is next.
Really? Buzz, what's up, man?
You left some leaves burning out here.
Yeah, I just came in just for a second.
Come on, man. If it's too hot to touch, it's too hot to leave. You could torch the whole neighborhood.
It's a good point. There's smoky.
9 out of 10 wildfires are caused by humans.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Body language can tell you all sorts of things. Like someone is having a stroke. Know the sudden signs. Learn fast. Face drooping, arm weakness, speech difficulty. Time to call 911 and get them to a hospital immediately. Learn the body language and spot a stroke fast.
How you doing? My name's Steve. My family's lived in this neighborhood for years. Recently, things got so tight, we had to go to our local food bank for help. I lost a lot of sleep worrying about what the neighbors might think. That is until I saw them there, too. How'd I do, Steve?
A little stiff. You could have done a little better.
What? Come on. You know, I have an Academy Award.
Yeah, but not for playing me.
Play a role in ending hunger. Visit feedingamerica.org/hunger and find your local food bank.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. You know, but it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, you know, she's putting them in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
It's ACC tournament time this weekend for Syracuse lacrosse. Time for sports, I'm Carly Nevis. First up, the second-ranked women's team is off to Virginia to face number 7 Boston College. Last season, the number 7-ranked Orange got past the Eagles in the quarterfinals. It took double overtime to win that game and a last-second shot by Kayla Trainer. The ACC championship game last season was quite the same.
Trainer did it against BC, trying to do it again, and she did it! The sudden victory goal, Kayla Trainer, and the Orange champs for 2015.
That was 1 year ago as Syracuse claimed its first ACC title with an upset over number 2 North Carolina. Fast forward to this year, the Orange clinched the number 2 seed in the ACC tournament, finishing at 5-2 in the conference.
Awesome, we know who we're playing. You know, first round, Boston College.
Aha, Boston College. Although the Eagles are seeded number 7 and finished just 2-5 in conference this season, one of those wins came against Syracuse.
It's an opportunity for us to prove that we can get over the hump with them again. And, you know, having lost to them at Boston College, you know, I think that players are very excited to have the opportunity to play them again.
But the postseason is a whole different animal.
Try to be a different team in the postseason, and it's super important, and I think we just try to keep everyone focused, and you know, I think we have enough tradition and history of doing well in the postseason that you know, we'll rely on the seniors, we'll rely on us to lead us there.
Well, if SU is able to avenge their early season loss, they'll go on to fight either number 3 Notre Dame or number 6 Louisville in the semifinals, both of whom they've beaten this season. And if they get over that hump, the Orange will strive to get back to where they were just a year ago, hoisting up the ACC championship trophy. Well, 2 of those players that were on the championship team last year, seniors Kayla Trainer and Mallory Vihar, were named to the All-ACC team today. The men's team will head just south of the women to play their ACC tournament in Georgia. SU finished 2-2 in conference and claimed the 4th seed in the tourney. They'll face top-seeded North Carolina this Friday at 6 p.m. The Tar Heels finished with just 1 conference loss, and that was to Syracuse. Just like the women, the SU men are looking to repeat as ACC champs. Last year, the Orange also had to go through North Carolina to get to the title and beat Duke by 1 goal. Coach Desko is taking the journey back to the chip 1 game at a time.
Almost a year ago, we walked off the field with the ACC championship, and it's great to have the opportunity to do it again, but it all starts with North Carolina on Friday night. If we start talking about other scenarios or looking past them at all, nothing as good is going to happen to us. So it's really with the team, we're just focusing on North Carolina, what they do offensively, defensively, who our matchups are, and their tendencies.
And in other ACC news, senior captains Dylan Donahue and Brandon Mullins and junior midfielders Nick Mariano and Sergio Salcido were named to the 18-person All-ACC team this afternoon. Well, basketball season ended less than a month ago, but it's never too early to look forward to next season. ESPN released its latest recruiting poll and ranked SU's class of 2016 number 21 in the nation. The crop includes shooting guard Tyus Battle, who's ranked 35th in the nation, and power forward Matthew Moyer, who's listed at number 74. Those two have committed. Some question marks for SU, though. Grad transfer Spike Albrecht from Michigan and Taurine Thompson, a 6'10 high school senior from New Jersey, will both visit Syracuse this weekend. And guys, Brianna Stewart, Syracuse native, today was named to the women's Olympic team.
That's some great news coming from Sports Carly. Thanks so much. And after the break, we'll have Wake Up Weather and our final goodbye. Stay with us.
So they say it's a man's world? I don't see anybody's name on it.
While they were doing their thing, we slowly changed our own.
Today, women can do anything men can do. And there's one thing we're even better at.
Preventing wildfires. That's all Smokey wants for his 70th birthday.
I've got a job to do today.
I've got a job to do today.
Have a good first day at work, Mom.
Your donations to Goodwill fund job training programs right in your community.
Feels good to start fresh, right?
Sure does. And like that, you're a job creator.
All right, Nick, what's the weather looking like tomorrow morning when we wake up?
Tomorrow morning, definitely going to want to take a jacket when you go out. It's going to be hovering right below 40 degrees, so things will cool off quite a bit overnight, actually down below freezing.
Well, thank you, Nick. The time has come for us to say goodbye. I've been lucky enough to sit at this desk for a news brief, essay today, and alongside 4 talented anchors over the past 4 years. I've had the pleasure working with incredibly talented executive producers and news directors here at Citrus TV. As Hunter is going to mention, the entire Citrus TV community is full of hardworking, devoted members who work together to put on a nightly newscast and much more than that. So, Hunter, it's been an absolute pleasure to sit alongside you due to the news. And to our viewers, thanks for joining us.
That's right. Without the viewers, we wouldn't be here. It's been a pleasure being able to sit beside a talented colleague, but more importantly, a friend each and every Wednesday night. But we are simply the face of a hardworking team that extends from just beyond these cameras into our control room and around this community. Without them, we wouldn't be here delivering the news that you count on. And finally, I want to thank my family. Without their sacrifice and support, I wouldn't be at this fine institution chasing the dreams that started some time ago. So everyone back home, thank you.
And before we go, if you want to take that control room camera, we have a couple people who'd like to say thank you to. Allie Wall, our news director, wouldn't be here without us. Everyone look and turn and say hello to the camera.
That's right. Our executive producer, Caroline Davenport, director, Monica Hammer, and our technical director, Carling Mott.
So thank you for joining us. Make sure to stay updated with Citrus TV News next semester. Talented teams coming up. For one last time, I'm Max Darrow.
And I'm Hunter Saenz. We'll see you sometime along the way. Good night.